Biden tells Asia-Pacific leaders U.S. not going anywhere, as he looks to build economic ties. President Joe Biden on Thursday made America's case to national leaders and CEOs attending the Asia-Pacific Summit that the United States is committed to high standards in trade and to partnerships that will benefit economies across the Pacific. "We're not going anywhere," he declared. Fresh off his meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, Biden also told business leaders that the U.S. was de-risking and diversifying, but not decoupling, from Beijing. But he did not mince words in suggesting the U.S. and friends in the Pacific could offer businesses a better option than China. He also noted that U.S. economies had invested some $50 billion in fellow Asia-Pacific economic cooperation economies in 2023, including in clean energy technologies, aviation and cybersecurity. "This is not all kumbaya, but it's straightforward," Biden said. "We have real differences with Beijing when it comes to maintaining a fair and level economic playing field and protecting your intellectual property." Biden sought to send a clear message about American leadership as business leaders grapple with the risks of doing businesses in the midst of wars in the Middle East and Europe and a still shaky post-pandemic economy. He was also spending time Thursday letting Indo-Pacific leaders know that the U.S. is committed to nurturing economic ties throughout the region. Biden later posed for the traditional family photo with other leaders of APEC, which includes 21 economies. Biden in his remarks to the CEOs sought to highlight his administration's efforts to strengthen ties with the region. APEC members have invested $1.7 trillion in the U.S. economy, supporting some 2.3 million American jobs. U.S. companies, in turn, have invested about $1.4 trillion in APEC economies. Later, during talks with APEC leaders at a working lunch, Biden spoke about efforts funded by his Inflation Reduction Act to fight climate change and improve sustainability and clean energy infrastructure in the U.S. "I encourage everyone around this table to also take strong national actions," Biden said. "It will take all of us to meet this moment." The U.S. hasn't hosted the annual Leaders Summit, started in 1993 by President Bill Clinton, since 2011. The group met virtually in 2020 and 2021 because of the coronavirus pandemic. Leaders did gather in Bangkok last year, but Biden skipped the summit because his granddaughter was getting married, and he sent Vice President Kamala Harris in his place. The annual conference brings together heads of nations and other top economic and diplomatic leaders. Biden told those who gathered Wednesday evening at a welcome party that today's challenges were unlike those faced by previous APEC leaders. Biden also sought to underscore that he was seeking to responsibly manage the United States' strained relationship with China one day after he and Xi sat down for more than 4 hours of talks at bucolic Filoli Estate outside of San Francisco. "A stable relationship between the world's two largest economies is not merely good for the two economies but for the world," Biden said. "A stable relationship. It's good for everyone." Demonstrations in and around APEC continued Thursday. Hours before leaders were to gather at the Moscone Center for the summit, protesters calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war were detained by police after shutting down all traffic over a major commuting bridge heading into San Francisco.